Morning, everyone. Thanks for joining the first episode of Juice with Justin. For those of you who listen or who are joining this call, I appreciate you tuning in to find out more about something that I'm really passionate about. I think it's pretty cool. If you don't know me, I'll introduce myself. So my name's Justin. I've had PPC in Vietnam for the past 5 years. I got into athletic training and strength and conditioning because I've played basketball my whole life. Ball is life. And I figured getting stronger and more athletic would help me in my sport. And it did. After high school, I kind of got to my corporate job. Wasn't really a thing for me. Drastic move to Vietnam, started PPC, and here we are now. In the 5 years that we've had PPC, I've done 7,000 plus sessions with athletes, youth athletes, general fitness population clients, people who are rehabbing from a variety of injuries, back, knees, hips, ankles, etc. In combination with that, I've had the privilege to work with some high-class, top-level coaches and institutions working with the best athletes in the world. I think this combined experience allows me to speak on the subjects that I'm going to be speaking about, based from my experience. So I get a lot of questions about strength and conditioning, athletic performance, and the topic of injuries. It happens on social media, via Instagram stories or DMs. It happens at dinner parties. It's happened to me at the mall. And the answer to a lot of these questions aren't really black and white, and they need more context. So I've started Juice with Justin as a way to get into more depth about these topics and questions that you have, hopefully answering them along the way. Before I begin, I think it's important that I describe athleticism or how I view athleticism. And I'm going to talk about specifically court and field sports, basketball, tennis, football, volleyball, etc. Athletic in those sports means you need to be agile, you need to be able to change directions, you need to be able to be fast, you need some jumping ability, coordination, and reaction. So that's what I'm talking about when I talk about athleticism. Getting into our topic today, how would I approach training in quarantine? So let's say I'm at home with zero equipment and limited space. Now, I'll be honest, I don't typically do no equipment training. I have the PPC lab. It's fantastic. It's downstairs. Bodyweight training has benefits. It can be good. I just find at some point there are limitations. Having said this, we're in a sort of a drastic time. We need to adjust, and we're going to adjust to the times here. As in training, as in life, I find it's really important that we understand what we're trying to accomplish. What is your goal? When we have this goal, then we can work backwards and make a plan to reach said goal. So let's look at our circumstances right now. Hopefully, quarantine or self-isolation lasts 2 to 3 weeks. So I'm working with that time frame. Hopefully after that, I'm able to go back to the gym and access equipment, things of this nature. So what do I want to do in the next 2 to 3 weeks? Well, I want to maintain my current athleticism. 2, maybe I can get some gains, even if it's just a little bit. Why not? Wouldn't that be great if we can get gains in 2 to 3 weeks? 3, I want to take this time to sort of recover from maybe any nagging injuries. Maybe I got some like knee pain that I'm dealing with, jumper's knee if I'm a basketball player. 4th, and this is a combo, I want to introduce new stimulus and get good at things that I haven't really spent time doing before. I'll give you an example here, and I'm going to talk a lot about this in the coming minutes. Isometrics. literally holding exercises at the bottom in positions. I tend to bias the weakest part of that position. So if we're talking about a push-up, you usually go down and up. I'm talking isometric would be holding at this weak bottom portion right here for a duration of time. I'm going to show you now literally my template for training athletes here at PT. So let me just get the screen share up. Okay, so if you were seeing my screen here, this is literally the template I use for athletes. Sometimes we go off script, but for the majority of my 7,000 plus sessions with athletes and regular clients, this is what we do here at PPC. Movement prep, we gotta warm up. I tend to do a dynamic warm up. That's a topic for another day. Let's cover athletic stuff, right? I mean, that's the whole point of this. So what can help us with our agility, change of direction, etc. Under that bracket, we need to tackle three things. The foot and ankle complex. I would do that via something like pogo jumps. I have a whole article on this. You can find it back in my social media platforms. Next, I want to handle vertical stuff. This is going to be knee dominant athleticism, vertical force productions, jumps. Exercises might include lunge jumps, squat jumps, various types of plyometrics. Lastly, I want to handle horizontal athleticism. So we're talking about hip dominant athleticism here. Horizontal force production. So I'll talk about, we're talking about sprints, things of that nature. In a confined space, I'd probably do something like a wall sprint march to work on that stiffness. Next, we have our PPC pillars. I use the PPC pillars sort of hashtag as a way to simplify our main movements. And when we talk about workouts and training sessions, things of this nature, we don't really do isolated stuff. We try to do bang for buck, compound total body workouts and exercises. This is something that's key for athleticism. We need to be good movers and we need to have coordination throughout the body to be able to succeed on the court or on the pitch. So we got four main movements: squat, hinge, push, pull. And I'm going to share with you what some of that stuff might look like. So this is a split squat. This is literally what I would do in isolation. And I would try to get good at this. Back glute on, oblique on, hamstring on the front leg. Show that again. And I'm going to try to hold this, depending on my level, for 20 to 45 seconds. We can have a bag with weight if you want to add some load to that. Next, hinge. So this is a lower body hip dominant exercise. So I'm trying to get into a good single leg RDL position at the bottom. I'm going to feel this in the hamstring, foot, and glute. Can I hold that position and be strong there? And we're going to use the same amount of time as we did in the split squat. Push. Let's talk about push-ups and its variations. I'd probably start on an incline push-up. So you could be on a, hands on a couch, stairs, bench, whatever you have. And we're gonna control and lower ourselves to the bottom part of that push-up and hold for time. Again, 20, 45 seconds, whatever you can do here. Now pulling. Pulling is quite challenging when you don't have any equipment. If you have a sturdy table, this is something that you can do. This is a tabletop inverted row. And we want to hold that top position there as an isometric. So that covers our PPC pillars. We're going to do like 2 to 3 sets of that. We've got trunk exercises. That's number 4 here. I like to use the word trunk. I don't like using core. When people say core, they think it's like just abs and 6-pack. Trunk is like everything between your shoulder and your knees that helps you stabilize and helps you transfer force from your lower to upper body. That is key in athleticism. So I might do some planks, With some elbow reaches, I might do some side planks, I might do some Russian twists. Those are some easy options for that there. Lastly, conditioning, I'll leave that to another conversation. I have a more in-depth template. If this is something that you would like, and if you're at this point in the conversation, I appreciate that. Shoot me a message and I can send you a whole program. It breaks it down, reps, sets, times, videos, etc. So shoot me a DM and I can get that your way. Thanks again for all that's listened to this conversation. I'm happy that I can give some context about what I was talking about. Didn't know how this is going to go. I plan on doing this again in the future and continue. Let's answer some questions that some people sent my way. Okay, Swanlop 33 asked, what do you think relative strength with body weight for a basketball player is? So I think what he's trying to ask me is, what is strong enough for a basketball player with respects to his body weight? There's a lot of different ways that you can go about this. Traditional literature out there might say, hey, you want a basketball player to do 1.5 to 2 times his body weight in a squat. You want 1.5 times in a bench press, similar squat numbers for a hinge or a deadlift, etc. But I think it's all relative. It depends on the individual. Like if you have a low training age, like if you haven't had a lot of experience in the strength and conditioning setting, and let's say you're a 6'5" long athlete with long levers, I don't think those numbers apply. So I think it's really individual. I think you do need to get strong. You do need to get strong in your PVC pillars. When you do them right and you do it over a period of time, that's quite easy. Like that happens easily when you're consistent. And there's going to be a point where you get diminishing returns. Like for example, if I start weight training at day 1 and I'm at like half of my body weight on a squat, and then all of a sudden now I can do 1.5 times body weight on my squat. Let's just call that like 100 kg as an easy number. If I work extra hard to get an extra 5%, so that would be an extra 5 kg on that squat, that's sort of like law of diminishing returns. Like you want to get strong enough and competent, and then focus on other things that help you with athleticism. Hope that answers your question. Zhao Bao 2502 asks, I wonder if you could give me some advice about other methods of preventing ACL injuries apart from gaining strength in the lower body. So preventing, that's another topic. You hit the nail on the head. Strength is super important. So when you land on a single leg, or when you land from jumps, or when you cut and change direction, the body, the knee joint, can experience upwards of 7+ times your body weight on the joint. So easy math, if you're like 50 kg, 7 times 350 kg on that one knee when you do a cut or something like that. So strength is super important. Outside of that though, I'd recommend having a diverse movement library, like being able to handle those forces in a variety of ways. So that just doesn't mean doing double leg squats. Okay, can you do single leg squats? Can you load up on that? Can you do lateral lunges? Can you do RDLs? Okay, let's tackle the athletic side of things. Do you have enough ankle stiffness? Like when you hit the ground, does your ankle change shape a lot? Making force distribute throughout the body differently. Can you land and absorb force and then redistribute it? Like, can you jump from a box, absorb the force okay, and then go back up relatively easily? Are you fast and can sprint? So these are sort of some ideas of being well-rounded so that you can handle the forces that come onto your body when you play a sport. Hope that answers your question. Leon Bordeaux, I need help for my personal training. Good thing you started following me. There's tons of stuff. If you go through my IG feed and Facebook, that can help you with your questions. Next time, if you ask me a bit more of a in-depth question, I can help you out with that. Cassie Simmons from Miami asks, what's one thing you've been doing to keep yourself busy? I've been pretty fortunate here in Vietnam. This hasn't affected us too bad so far. We're relatively in the early throes of it all. So life is kind of still normal for us. Having said that, I am prepared in the event that we need to go into a lockdown. I recently got a PS4 and I'm starting to play games with my clients. So that's sort of one thing I'm doing to keep myself busy. Thanks for the question. I think that's it for today. Thanks for joining this episode of Juice with Justin. I'll be back again to answer your questions.